from Stephanie White, pretty much showing that she ain't rocking with Caitlin Clark's style of play, dog. Yesterday, what we seen displayed out there was a rude awakening to a bunch of fans. Stephanie White's style of coaching is not for Caitlin Clark. It's getting obvious at this point. If you guys can't see that, you're truly something wrong with you. She runs this motion offense. Fans online has been threatening to quit watching the Indiana Fever basketball.
What if I told you the WNBA's biggest mystery isn't who's winning games, but who's sabotaging Caitlin Clark from inside her own team? Yep, buckle up, because this leaked footage is so wild it makes reality TV look like church camp. Is Stephanie White the coach, or the villain in Caitlin's origin story? Grab your popcorn, because what you're about to see is either career coaching or career ending. Let's dive into the chaos that has fans screaming conspiracy.
Stephanie White, in her post-game interview, confirms the team looks the best when the ball is in Caitlin's hands, when she is the main decision maker, and everything revolves around her. Yet for some strange reason, in the Valkyries game yesterday, after witnessing that in real time, Stephanie White decides to change things up, slow the things down, take Caitlin out the game, and she complains that the team suddenly loses focus.
Caitlin Clark didn't come to the WNBA to play in slow motion. She didn't light up college basketball just to stand in the corner like she's waiting for an Uber. And yet, here we are, watching one of the most electrifying talents in women's basketball get reduced to a glorified decoy while her teammates pretend passing is optional.
It's a tall task today. The Atlanta Dream are real opposition. They have real talent. They have real players. We got to show up if we're going to win this game. And I'm going to be honest. I have my doubts. I don't believe in this coach. I'm not even getting my hopes up anymore. At this point, I just want CC to go off. I want Stephanie White fired, gone. I repeat it again. She's a bum to me. I want her out of here. But in order for the Indiana Fever to steal a victory, because it will be a steal at this point, we have to be honest about where we are as a team. Bro, we're below 500. We ain't good. We're not good.
And no, this isn't some elaborate hazing ritual or a punishment for making too many logo threes in college. This is what happens when a coach and a player operate on two completely different time zones. Stephanie White is running the Indiana Fever like it's 2012, while Caitlin Clark is trying to play in 4K Ultra HD. The result? A basketball car crash where the brakes never work and the GPS is yelling, recalculating.
You know, I hope not, but if this was to happen, Stephanie White is to blame. Stephanie White will go down as the coach that ruined Caitlin Clark fan base. Only way this stuff could change is if we, the fans, voice our opinions online, in videos, and make it loud enough so the front office can hear it. I don't know what the case is, but at the end of the day, this isn't Caitlin Clark basketball team no more. It's Stephanie White's team. When you got a superstar player like Caitlin Clark, she should be the focal point of the offense, defense, every aspect of that team. The money she's generating for the league, but especially the Indiana Fever, is unprecedented right now.
Now, let's not pretend we didn't see this coming. Clark entered the league with more hype than a Marvel movie trailer. She was supposed to be the savior, the golden child, the face of a league begging for relevance outside of Twitter beefs. But in Indiana, she's being coached like she stole someone's lunch out the team fridge.
Stephanie White is not impressing people. I'm seeing the reception around her and a lot of the commentary that I'm reading online. Everyone's tired of her. They're ready for her to go. They're ready for her to get out of here. I maintain that there are definitely questions that need to be asked of her, and she definitely needs to come to the table with a lot better answers than we. I'd like to start hearing, some of the stuff she's responsible for. I'd like to hear about how she plans to maximize Caitlin Clark rather than make her fit into a box, personally.
Stephanie White, bless her clipboard, seems determined to turn Caitlin into a robot. Set screens. Stay in the corner. Wait for the ball like it's a delivery from FEDEX. The problem is, Clark didn't become a phenomenon by standing around and watching others dribble. She's the engine, not the hood ornament. But White? She's treating her like a spare tire. It's not just bad coaching, it's almost performance art. You have the fastest brain in the game being slowed down to accommodate a system that would bore a tortoise. The Fever's offense moves with all the urgency of a DMV line, while Caitlin is mentally 5 plays ahead, looking around like, is anyone else seeing this? And then came the quote. You know, the now famous not-so-subtle dig about everyone being on their own islands. Translation, this team has all the chemistry of a season finale on a canceled soap opera. No one's on the same page because apparently the playbook is written in Morse code. But let's break it down. Caitlin thrived at Iowa because she was allowed to be Caitlin. She ran the floor, made quick decisions, launched logo threes like it was a personality trait, and oh yeah, she made her teammates better. Fast forward to the WNBA, and she's been downgraded to a glorified passer with a front row seat to mediocrity. Meanwhile, Stephanie White is over there looking like she's trying to crack the Da Vinci Code with her play calls. What was supposed to be a fast-paced, dynamic offense has turned into a masterclass in how to misuse talent. Forget adjusting to Clark's strengths, we're watching a coach force a unicorn to live like a mule.
And this goes to the second part of what Stephanie White said. The game plan, the lack of execution of the game plan. The game plan wasn't being executed in those 2 5-minute spurts, Stephanie. I hate to break it to you. Those 2 spurts that you're referring to, Caitlin took that game plan, looked at it, crumbled it up, and threw it in the trash. I'm the game plan. I'm back. Let me cook, as the kids would say. And she cooked up. And then Stephanie White gets the team in a timeout, gets the team in a huddle, and says, hey, folks, don't forget the game plan. Don't forget the game plan. Slow it down, slow it down.
It's like handing the keys to a Ferrari to someone who only drives golf carts. There are possessions where Caitlin doesn't even touch the ball until there's 5 seconds on the shot clock. 5 seconds. What is she supposed to do? Summon her college teammates from the bench like it's Space Jam? And don't get us started on the spacing. Watching the Fever's offense is like watching a group project where no one read the instructions. People standing in each other's way, screens set with the enthusiasm of a houseplant, teammates looking surprised when a pass actually hits them in the hands. It's chaos, but not the good kind. And yet the narrative being sold is that Caitlin just needs to adjust. Adjust to what? Bad habits? Poor ball movement? An offense allergic to rhythm? That's like telling a gourmet chef to get used to microwaving frozen dinners. Look around the league and you'll see rookies being empowered. Coaches are building offenses around their strengths. Meanwhile, Caitlin is getting treated like a temp hire. She's not being set up to succeed. She's being used to justify a system that's collapsing faster than a folding chair at a family reunion. Now, here comes the leaked footage, and oh boy, if body language could talk, this tape would be screaming. There's a moment where Caitlin makes a cut, expects the ball, and ends up watching it sail in the opposite direction, like she just got ghosted in real time. Her face says it all. Confusion, frustration, and a smidge of, I left college for this?
Stephanie White doesn't like Caitlin Clark, the way she plays. It's very, very clear that Stephanie White, her philosophy on basketball does not suit Caitlin Clark. For them to work, one of them has to change, if not one of them has to go. And I mean this when I say this.
Another clip shows the team setting up an offensive set that involves Caitlin standing still on the wing while the ball pings around like it's playing hot potato. By the time it gets to her, the defense is already hosting a cookout in her airspace, and yet somehow she's the one being asked to adjust. But here's the wildest part. Stephanie White doesn't seem all that interested in changing anything, because change would imply there's something wrong. And that would mean acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, you're coaching the most popular player in the league like she's a role player in a summer league scrimmage. Let's be real. Caitlin Clark wasn't brought into the WNBA to be humble and quiet. She was brought in to put butts in seats and points on the board. But if Stephanie White keeps playing this slow-mo, ice-cold, wait-your-turn brand of basketball, the only thing Caitlin will be leading is jersey sales, and not wins. And yes, the excuses are flying faster than Fever turnovers. She needs to learn the game. She has to earn her spot. Cool. Then explain why every opposing team is throwing triple coverage at her like she's the only real threat. The league knows who Caitlin is, the fans know, the broadcasters know, the mascots know, so why doesn't her coach?
In order for the Indiana Fever to have any chance at all of stealing a victory, we need her to show up. That's Iowa Caitlin Clark. We need the Iowa CC, the real GOAT, the one that changed the game forever, the one that brought millions upon millions of fans to the sport. The reason that people are watching today, period. We need this Caitlin Clark. We need that sicko monster killer on the floor.
It's like watching someone buy a high-end espresso machine and only use it to boil water. You have this once-in-a-generation basketball mind on your team, and the best strategy you can come up with is to let her stand around and wait for breadcrumbs? Caitlin Clark isn't supposed to fit in. She's supposed to take over, but that's hard to do when your coach is stuck playing Sudoku with the rotation. White is still out here trying to prove she can win her way, but newsflash, your way has a losing record and a fan base ready to riot. The stands are full of people in Clark jerseys who came to watch fireworks, not a slideshow. Remember the greats who were empowered early? Jalen Hurts wasn't picked to start right away, but when he got the nod, the system adjusted to him. Dak Prescott, same thing. You don't ask a star to shrink. You expand the game to fit them. But here, Stephanie White's playbook is starting to look like a how-to guide for coaching your way out of a job. So let's spell it out. Caitlin isn't struggling because she's not ready. She's struggling because the coach insists on turning a rocket into a rowboat. And instead of course correcting, it feels like the plan is to keep paddling slower until Caitlin learns to stop flying.
This is not going to be for everybody. Some people are not going to like the way I talk about Stephanie White in this video. And ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Stephanie White is a joke, y'all. She's a joke. She is a joke. It is your job as the coach to make sure your team comes out ready to play ball.
And for what? To protect egos? To avoid controversy? Because if the plan is to develop her slowly, congratulations. Mission accomplished. She's playing like someone wrapped in bubble wrap while the rest of the league sharpens their knives. It doesn't have to be this way. The fix isn't complicated. Give her the ball, let her cook, and build an offense that doesn't look like it was designed on a dial-up connection. Surround her with shooters. Let her run high pick and rolls. Give her the green light to be Caitlin Clark. Because this current setup, it's like asking Picasso to finger paint. You don't get greatness by dulling the edges. You get it by sharpening them. And if Stephanie White doesn't realize that soon, she won't just be remembered as Caitlin Clark's first WNBA coach, she'll be remembered as the one who tried to turn a highlight reel into a blooper. Caitlin is ready. She's always been ready. But coaching isn't about proving you're smarter than your players, it's about putting them in positions to succeed. So far, all we've seen is a system built to fail her. And no amount of vague quotes or empty platitudes can cover up the fact that we are watching a generational player get ghosted by her own coach's game plan. The footage is out there. The body language is loud. The fans are fed up. And if something doesn't change soon, we won't be asking, what happened to Caitlin Clark? We'll be asking, how did the Fever fumble the bag this hard?
I see what people was talking about in these YouTube streets. I see what people was talking about all around the world. And that's the agenda that Stephanie White or the Indiana Fever fan base and Caitlin Clark is coach killers. Now, if you watch basketball, if you watch sports, you all know that not to be true. Y'all know that not to be true. It's not that we want Stephanie White fired because they losing. We want Stephanie White fired because she lied to us. She said she was going to do one thing. She brought her ass in here and did the total opposite. That is why. You have a generational talent in Cece, one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard in the whole WNBA. And you take her off ball and put her at small forward. That is a fireable offense.
And now, here we are. The burning question that's roasting brains across the WNBA fan base like a 4th of July barbecue. Is this career sabotage or just plain old coaching incompetence? Because let's face it, either way, someone's got to explain why Caitlin Clark looks less like a once-in-a-generation talent and more like a glorified decoy on a team that's treating her like she snuck into the locker room with a fake ID. Now, we've heard the polite version. Oh, she's adjusting to the league. It takes time. Stephanie White is helping her develop at the right pace. That's adorable. But here's the thing. Developing her at the right pace shouldn't mean benching her instincts, duct taping her talent, and handing her a script for a B-tier supporting role in her own story. We're watching Caitlin Clark, the walking fireball from Iowa, turned into a background prop. That's not development. That's developmental sabotage with a whistle and a clipboard. Let's get real. You don't put a Ferrari in rush hour traffic and call it character building. And you definitely don't tell Steph Curry to stop shooting and focus on inbound passes. So why are we asking Caitlin Clark, the highest scoring NCAA player ever, to play like she's a mildly enthusiastic camp counselor? That's not coaching. That's coaching malpractice. Meanwhile, let's compare receipts. Asia Wilson walked into the WNBA like she owned it. Sabrina Ionescu immediately handed the keys to the offense like a trust fund baby in a sports car dealership.
I think the obvious issue is Stephanie White is so stubborn to fit a circle in a square peg instead of utilizing the strengths of the team. And she probably felt relief because Caitlin Clark was hurt, that, oh, this is my time. I could introduce the culture and the system. And some actually bought in. And then when Caitlin Clark comes back, she doesn't know how to use her. That's not coaching to me. That's like freaking, you are not prioritizing the show. People paid for the show, guys.
And even Paige Buchers in college was unleashed to lead, create, and change the game from day one. The blueprint is there, written in bold, neon glittery Sharpie. If you have a generational player, you build around her. You don't bury her in a timeout huddle wondering why no one cuts on a pick and roll. And yet, here we are, watching Caitlin Clark trail behind plays designed for who exactly? A post player who can't finish through contact? A shooting guard that's allergic to open threes? This isn't just underutilization, it's a slow-motion train wreck that's dragging down the league's brightest star. And if Caitlin's development flatlines, are we really going to sit here and blame her? Please, this is not on the talent. This is on the architect of the offense who keeps drawing up plays like it's 1996 and the shot clock lasts forever. So what needs to change? Everything, immediately. First off, let her run more pick and rolls. It's not complicated. That's where she thrived at Iowa, reading defenses, manipulating space, dishing dimes like Oprah hands out gift bags. You get a bucket. You get a bucket. Second, this team needs to build in transition looks. Let her push the pace, let her run wild, let her cook. Caitlin Clark in transition is like a tornado with handles, unstoppable, unpredictable, and extremely photogenic.
Upon her arrival, upon her return, we see the Indiana Fever get destroyed. They had a 19-point loss from the Golden State Valkyries at the Indiana Fever's home court. Now, during that game, and also on Caitlin Clark's return, she was still able to put up 10 points. But people have been dragging Stephanie White. Coach Stephanie White, she is the current head coach of the Indiana Fever. I had to literally, like last night and today, I had to defend this woman on Twitter. People are like, she is the problem and woo woo woo. Now they're saying that she's sabotaging Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever girls. That's the same complaint, the same accusations they put on Christy Sides, Coach Christy Sides last season. And I want to delve deep into this.
But right now, we're watching her dribble up the court like she's in a DMV line instead of a basketball game. Third, and this is not rocket science, surround her with people who move without the ball. Cutters, shooters, screeners, players who don't stare at her like she's holding a live grenade every time she tries to create. This isn't Cirque du Solitude, it's a team sport. And Clark is out there playing chess while the rest of the roster is flipping over Monopoly boards. And finally, for the love of everything sacred in basketball, give her autonomy. Let her read the game. Let her improvise. Let her be Caitlin. Because right now, they're treating her like a backup singer in a karaoke night she didn't sign up for. Stephanie White has a choice to make. Either she evolves or she becomes the answer to a trivia question titled, "Which coach wasted the most marketable player since Diana Taurasi?" Because this isn't just about a playbook, it's about a moment. Caitlin isn't just an athlete. She's a movement. Coaches can either ride the wave or get swallowed by it. And right now, Stephanie White is out here paddling in the wrong direction. But hey, there's still time. The season isn't over. The story isn't finished. But the clock, it's ticking louder than ever.